Question 1. Read the following paragraph and answer the question below. A patrol officer observed a vehicle traveling erratically, swerving between lanes and nearly striking the center divider. The officer activated emergency lights and siren, initiating a traffic stop. Upon approaching the vehicle, the officer detected a strong odor of alcohol emanating from the driver's window. The driver exhibited slurred speech and fumbled while attempting to retrieve their driver's license. Based on the paragraph, what is the most likely initial reason the officer initiated the traffic stop? A. To investigate a potential vehicle registration violation. B. To check if the driver had a valid driver's license. C. To address observed erratic driving behavior. D. To inquire about the strong odor of alcohol. Answer: C. To address observed erratic driving behavior. The paragraph clearly states the officer observed the vehicle, traveling erratically, swerving between lanes and nearly striking the center divider, before initiating the stop. This specific observation of unsafe driving is the direct reason for the initial police action. While other factors like alcohol odor are discovered later, the erratic driving is the immediate cause. Focusing on the sequence of events described in the text is crucial for reading comprehension questions. Question 2. Which of the following words is spelled correctly? A. Separate. B. Definitely. C. Occasion. D. Receive. Answer: C. Occasion. The correctly spelled word among the choices is occasion. This type of question tests a candidate's basic spelling proficiency, which is essential for accurate report writing and communication in law enforcement. Many commonly misspelled words appear on these exams, so practicing words with tricky double letters or vowel combinations is helpful. A good tip is to visualize the correct spelling or break down words into smaller parts. Question 3. If a police vehicle is traveling north at 60 miles per hour and turns west, what direction is the vehicle now traveling? A. North. B. South. C. East. D. West. Answer: D. West. When a vehicle traveling north makes a turn west, its direction of travel changes directly to west. This question assesses basic spatial reasoning and understanding of cardinal directions, which is vital for navigation and scene description in law enforcement. Even though the vehicle was initially moving north, the turn dictates the new direction. Always visualize the directional change to avoid confusion. Question 4. Identify the best word to complete the following sentence. The detective received an anonymous tip, but she needed additional evidence to underscore the suspect's involvement. A. Infer. B. Imply. C. Corroborate. D. Conjecture. Answer: C. Corroborate. The best word to complete the sentence is corroborate, which means to confirm or give support to a statement, theory, or finding. In law enforcement, detectives often receive tips that require additional evidence to strengthen their case and verify a suspect's involvement, making corroboration a key investigative step. The word corroborate fits perfectly because it conveys the idea of finding supporting evidence to confirm the tip. Remember that strong vocabulary is essential for effective communication in official reports. Question 5. Which of the following sentences contains a grammatical error? A. The suspect ran quickly, but the officer caught him. B. They were all present except for she. C. Neither the dispatcher nor the officers were aware of the exact location. D. The evidence was collected carefully by the forensic team. Answer: B. They were all present except for she. The sentence, "they were all present except for she," contains a grammatical error. The word except functions as a preposition here, and prepositions are followed by objective case pronouns, so it should be, except for her. This question tests your understanding of pronoun cases and proper English grammar, which is critical for writing clear and professional police reports. Always ensure that pronouns are in the correct case when following prepositions. Question 6. A citizen reports a suspicious person loitering near a restricted area. The citizen describes the person as wearing a dark hoodie and carrying a large backpack. An officer arrives on scene and observes a person matching the description. What is the most appropriate initial action for the officer to take? A. Immediately detain the person and search the backpack. B. Approach the person, identify themselves as an officer, and ask what they are doing. C. Instruct the person to leave the area immediately without further interaction. D. Call for backup and wait for additional units before taking any action. Answer. B. Approach the person, identify themselves as an officer, and ask what they are doing. The most appropriate initial action is to approach the person, identify as an officer, and inquire about their presence, as this aligns with the principles of community policing and initial investigation. An officer has the right to make a consensual encounter or a reasonable suspicion stop when an individual's behavior or presence matches a credible report of suspicious activity. This allows the officer to gather more information and determine if further action is warranted without immediately resorting to detention or search without probable cause. Police work often begins with respectful, information-gathering interactions. Question 7. A series of numbers follows a specific pattern, 3, 6, 12, 24, ____, 96. What number completes the series? A. 36. B. 48. C. 72. D. 84. Answer. B. 48. The pattern in this series is that each number is doubled to get the next number. 3 times 2 is equal to 6, 6 times 2 is equal to 12, 12 times 2 is equal to 24. Therefore, to find the missing number, you double 24, which results in 48. This question assesses inductive reasoning, specifically the ability to identify numerical patterns and predict the next element in a sequence. Practice recognizing different types of sequences, like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, or combinations, to excel on these questions. Question 8. Which of the following is the most effective way to communicate critical information clearly and concisely in a police report? A. Use complex sentence structures and varied vocabulary to demonstrate writing skill. B. Include all possible details, even if they are not directly relevant to the incident. C. Organize information logically and use plain, factual language. D. Write in a conversational tone to make the report easier to read. Answer. C. Organize information logically and use plain, factual language. The most effective way to communicate in a police report is to organize information logically and use plain, factual language. Police reports must be clear, objective, and easy for anyone to understand, including judges, attorneys, and other officers, without ambiguity or unnecessary jargon. Avoiding conversational tones or irrelevant details ensures the report is professional and serves its legal and investigative purpose. Always prioritize clarity and factual accuracy in your written communications. Question 9. Read the statement below and determine the most logical conclusion. All patrol cars are equipped with radios. Some vehicles at the station are patrol cars. A. All vehicles at the station are equipped with radios. B. Some vehicles at the station are equipped with radios. C. No vehicles at the station are equipped with radios. D. Only patrol cars are equipped with radios. Answer. B. Some vehicles at the station are equipped with radios. Based on the given statements, the most logical conclusion is that some vehicles at the station are equipped with radios. If all patrol cars have radios, and some vehicles at the station are indeed patrol cars, then it logically follows that those specific vehicles at the station must also have radios. This question tests deductive reasoning, where you draw specific conclusions from general premises. Remember that some does not necessarily mean all, but it does guarantee at least one. Question 10. An officer is pursuing a suspect on foot through a residential area. The suspect suddenly turns right down an alley. Which term best describes the officer's immediate challenge in maintaining visual contact? A. Contraband. B. Concealment. C. Apprehension. D. Dispatch. Answer: B. Concealment. The term that best describes the officer's immediate challenge is concealment. When a suspect turns down an alley, they are using the environment to hide themselves from the officer's view, thus concealing their movements. Understanding basic tactical terms like concealment, which means hiding or obscuring from view, is important for officer safety and pursuit strategy. Always consider how environmental factors can affect visibility and a suspect's ability to evade. Question 11. Which option uses proper punctuation and capitalization? A. The sergeant said, report for duty at 0700 hours. B. The sergeant said, report for duty at 0700 hours. C. The sergeant said, report for duty at 0700 hours. D. The sergeant said, report for duty at 0700 hours. Answer: B. The sergeant said, report for duty at 0700 hours. The correct option is, the sergeant said, report for duty at 0700 hours. This choice correctly capitalizes the first word of the direct quote, report, places the comma before the opening quotation mark, and uses proper capitalization for the title, sergeant, when it is not used as a proper noun or directly before a name. Correct punctuation and capitalization are crucial for clarity and professionalism in all official communications and reports. Mastering these rules helps ensure your written work is easily understood and taken seriously. Question 12. If a police station is located 5 miles north of the city center, and an incident occurs 3 miles south of the city center, how far apart are the police station and the incident location? A. 2 miles. B. 5 miles. C. 8 miles. D. 15 miles. Answer: C. 8 miles. To find the total distance between the police station and the incident location, you need to add the distances from the city center in opposite directions. The station is 5 miles north and the incident is 3 miles south, so 5 miles plus 3 miles equals 8 miles. This question tests basic spatial reasoning and problem solving with directions, which is fundamental for understanding routes and distances in patrol duties. Always visualize the locations on a mental map to correctly calculate the total distance. Question 13. Which of the following is the most appropriate definition of probable cause in a law enforcement context? A. A mere hunch or suspicion that a crime has been committed. B. Sufficient reason based on known facts to believe a crime has been committed or that certain property is connected with a crime. C. Any evidence, no matter how small, that points towards guilt. D. The absolute certainty that a person has committed a crime. Answer: B. Sufficient reason based on known facts to believe a crime has been committed or that certain property is connected with a crime. Probable cause is a crucial legal standard in law enforcement, defined as sufficient reason, supported by facts and circumstances, to believe that a crime has been committed or that evidence of a crime exists in a particular location. It is a higher standard than mere suspicion but lower than the certainty required for conviction. Understanding this concept is essential for legal arrests, searches, and warrants. Remember, probable cause requires more than a hunch, it requires concrete facts. Question 14. Choose the sentence that is most clearly and concisely written. A. Due to the fact that the weather conditions were adverse, the pursuit was terminated by the officers. B. Because of adverse weather conditions, officers terminated the pursuit. C. The pursuit termination by the officers was due to the adverse weather conditions. D. The officers, on account of the adverse weather conditions, terminated the pursuit. Answer: B. Because of adverse weather conditions, officers terminated the pursuit. The sentence, because of adverse weather conditions, officers terminated the pursuit, is the most clearly and concisely written. It uses direct language and avoids unnecessary words or complex phrasing found in the other options. For police reports and official communications, clarity and conciseness are paramount to ensure information is easily understood without ambiguity. Always aim to convey your message using the fewest necessary words while maintaining accuracy. Question 15. An officer is completing a report regarding a traffic collision. The report requires a detailed description of the damages to the vehicles. Which of the following words would be most appropriate to describe extensive damage? A. Minor. B. Superficial. C. Moderate. D. Catastrophic. Answer: D. Catastrophic. To describe extensive damage, the most appropriate word among the choices is catastrophic, which indicates severe, widespread, or ruinous damage. Minor and superficial suggest minimal damage, while moderate implies a middle ground. Using precise and appropriate vocabulary, like catastrophic, is essential for accurately documenting details in police reports, ensuring that the severity of incidents is clearly communicated. Always choose the word that most accurately reflects the degree or extent of what you are describing. Question 16. A suspect runs down a street. The officer runs at the same speed. The suspect then turns left onto a different street. The officer continues straight. This scenario primarily illustrates a failure of the officer to maintain A. Pursuit speed. B. Tactical advantage. C. Visual contact. D. Radio communication. Answer: C. Visual contact. The scenario primarily illustrates a failure to maintain visual contact. When the suspect turns and the officer continues straight, the officer loses sight of the suspect, which is critical in a foot pursuit. Maintaining visual contact is essential for officer safety, suspect apprehension, and ensuring the officer knows where the suspect is. Losing sight of a suspect can lead to a lost pursuit or an unsafe situation. Question 17. Which of the following is an example of a good active listening technique? A. Interrupting the speaker to offer solutions. B. Planning your response while the other person is speaking. C. Maintaining eye contact and nodding to show understanding. D. Focusing on what you want to say next. Answer: C. Maintaining eye contact and nodding to show understanding. Maintaining eye contact and nodding to show understanding are examples of good active listening techniques. Active listening involves fully concentrating on what is being said, both verbally and non-verbally, and demonstrating that you are engaged and comprehending the message. This approach helps build rapport and ensures accurate information gathering, which is crucial in interviews and public interactions. Always show the speaker that you are truly listening. Question 18. An officer observes a vehicle with a broken taillight at night. This observation provides the officer with A. Probable cause for arrest. B. Reasonable suspicion for a traffic stop. C. Sufficient evidence for a search warrant. D. A basis for immediate vehicle impound. Answer: B. Reasonable suspicion for a traffic stop. Observing a vehicle with a broken taillight at night provides an officer with reasonable suspicion for a traffic stop. A broken taillight is a traffic violation, which gives the officer a legal basis to initiate a stop to investigate the violation. Reasonable suspicion is a lower legal standard than probable cause, but it is sufficient to justify a brief detention or stop. Understanding these legal standards is fundamental to lawful police action. Question 19. Identify the antonym for the word compliance. A. Obedience. B. Conformity. C. Resistance. D. Adherence. Answer: C. Resistance. The antonym for compliance is resistance. Compliance means acting in accordance with a wish, command, or rule, while resistance means refusing to accept or comply with something. Understanding antonyms and synonyms is a key component of verbal reasoning, which is important for comprehending complex instructions and communicating effectively in law enforcement. Expand your vocabulary to better understand and use official terminology. Question 20. A detective is interviewing a witness who speaks very quickly and uses a lot of slang. To ensure accuracy in the report, what should the detective prioritize? A. Interrupting the witness frequently to clarify slang terms. B. Focusing on the overall gist rather than specific details. C. Asking open-ended questions and paraphrasing the witness's statements for confirmation. D. Taking detailed notes verbatim, including all slang, without asking for clarification. Answer: C. Asking open-ended questions and paraphrasing the witness's statements for confirmation. To ensure accuracy with a fast-speaking, slang-using witness, the detective should prioritize asking open-ended questions and paraphrasing the witness's statements for confirmation. This approach allows the witness to provide full answers while giving the detective opportunities to clarify potentially ambiguous or unclear language. Accurate information gathering is vital for effective investigations and reliable report writing. Always verify understanding to avoid misinterpretations. Question 21. If a police unit responds to a call at 1,430 hours and clears the scene at 1,615 hours, how long was the unit on scene? A. 1 hour and 30 minutes. B. 2 hours and 15 minutes. C. 1 hour and 45 minutes. D. 3 hours and 45 minutes. Answer: C. 1 hour and 45 minutes. To calculate the duration, convert the times to minutes or use direct subtraction. From 1430 to 1500 is 30 minutes, and from 1500 to 1615 is 1 hour and 15 minutes. Adding these together, 30 minutes plus 1 hour 15 minutes, gives a total of 1 hour and 45 minutes. This question tests your ability to perform time calculations, which is a practical skill for logging activities and tracking incidents in police work. Accurately tracking time is crucial for reports and operational efficiency. Question 22. Which situation best illustrates the concept of chain of custody in handling evidence? A. An officer documenting the exact time and location where evidence was found. B. An officer sealing evidence in a bag and giving it directly to the prosecuting attorney. C. A continuous, documented record of who has had possession of evidence from the time it was collected until it is presented in court. D. A forensic technician analyzing evidence without first logging it into a property room. Answer: C. A continuous, documented record of who has had possession of evidence from the time it was collected until it is presented in court. The concept of chain of custody refers to the chronological documentation or paper trail showing the seizure, custody, control, transfer, analysis, and disposition of evidence. It is critical in law enforcement to ensure the integrity and admissibility of evidence in court by proving that it has not been tampered with or altered. Maintaining a strict chain of custody is paramount for the credibility of any evidence presented in a legal proceeding. Question 23. A diagram shows three objects, B and C. Object A is directly to the left of Object B. Object C is directly above Object B. What is the spatial relationship between Object A and Object C? A. Object A is to the right of Object C. B. Object A is below and to the left of Object C. C. Object A is to the left and below Object C. D. Object A is directly above Object C. Answer: C. Object A is to the left and below Object C. If Object A is to the left of Object B, and Object C is directly above Object B, then Object A must be both to the left of Object C and below Object C. This question tests spatial reasoning and the ability to visualize relationships between objects based on given descriptions. Practicing these types of problems helps develop your ability to interpret and describe scenes accurately, which is essential for accident reports or crime scene investigations. Question 24. Which sentence uses the word "affect" correctly? A. The new policy will have a positive effect on officer morale. B. How will the recent budget cuts affect police services? C. The officer's effect was calm despite the tense situation. D. His advice had a great effect on my decision. Answer: B. How will the recent budget cuts affect police services? The sentence, "How will the recent budget cuts affect police services," uses "affect" correctly as a verb, meaning to influence or produce a change in something. Affect is typically a verb, while effect is typically a noun, meaning a result or outcome. Understanding the difference between commonly confused words like affect and effect is vital for precise and professional written communication in law enforcement. Always remember that effect is usually the action. Question 25. An officer is preparing for a public presentation on traffic safety. Which of the following approaches would be most effective in engaging the audience and ensuring they retain the information? A. Reading directly from a script to ensure all details are covered. B. Using complex technical jargon to demonstrate expertise. C. Incorporating real-world examples, interactive questions, and clear visuals. D. Speaking in a monotone voice to maintain a serious tone. Answer: C. Incorporating real-world examples, interactive questions, and clear visuals. Incorporating real-world examples, interactive questions, and clear visuals is the most effective approach for public presentations. These elements make the information more relatable, encourage audience participation, and help clarify complex concepts, significantly improving information retention. Effective communication skills, including public speaking, are crucial for law enforcement officers in community engagement and public education roles. Remember to connect with your audience through relatable content.